Guys, before this video even gets started, I want to give a huge shout out to Fort Troy. He is the person who made this video possible. He was the one who leaked all of these LTMs. I came across him, and I definitely want to give credit where credit is due. I don't take credit for any of these guys for their work. A lot of leakers out there do this work and don't get credited for it, and I don't want to be one of those people. These guys stay up for updates and go in and find these things for us and post them at the risk of literally losing their accounts and going into lawsuits and stuff like that. At one point this was happening. So huge shout out to Fortree. That's all I want to say. Give him a follow. Make sure to just give him all the love possible. But anyways, let's get to the video. So as promised, this is all 18. Yes, you heard that right. All 18 leaked LTMs. We're spending about 30 seconds on each one. They'll be on your right hand side of the screen. And like I said, we're going through all 18 of them right here in this video. So let's get right to it. First things first, Chameleon LTM. Last man standing rules, but players have the ability to turn into different props around the map. Now this is basically prop hunt, and I will throw the code up for the current prop hunt map on your screens. A lot of my friends have played it already, but definitely if you guys want to check it out, go ahead and give it a try, get a good feel for what the mode is going to be like, because it's going to be a public mode, which is super exciting. I thought that they're going to keep it just as a creative mode thing, and I was kind of disappointed in that, but I'm really glad that they're going to be able to work it out in some way, shape, or form to get you guys to actually play it in a public match with a bunch of other people. So next LTM on the list is automatics. Pretty straightforward LTM here. The only weapons in the game are the automatic firing ones, spray and pray. So that pretty much excludes the infantry rifles. It excludes pistols, which is actually really nice. It probably excludes all explosive weapons because those are not automatic weapons, simple as that. So that would be a really interesting LTM to see. Definitely if they allow the increased mat count, that'd be nice too, and hopefully it drops a lot more ammo. But automatics is that mode. Now the next mode that we had up is actually pretty interesting, which is headshots only. This is kind of like, I think this is a mode in Call of Duty. No, it's actually a setting that you can do in Call of Duty's, where you can do it with headshots only just to like mess with your friends or whatever. But in this game, I don't know about this. Headshots only is kind of tough, especially since, you know, most of the weapons in this game, except for snipers, have bloom, which makes it extremely hard to hit the head consistently. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what they do in this mode. If they make it so that there's no bloom, that'd be really cool. That'd be awesome to have like a test of your accuracy, but I don't know if that's gonna be the case, and probably gonna just be shotgun warfare to go for headshots most likely. So next LTM, this one's actually really interesting. Leave none behind. All players have a slurp effect granting health and shields over time as long as all members of their team are alive. If players are knocked down but not out, they become invulnerable to damage, but the heal over time effect that their teammates have will change to damage over time. So pretty much this mode is all about teamwork, more teamwork than ground game is, to be honest. And I think this is a super cool idea. I really like it, and I don't know how they came up with it, but the idea of that your teammates matter to your own health is actually super cool. So I'm really excited to see that one. I'm not sure if I'm going to check it out because that's probably going to be a little bit tough if you don't have a good coordinated team. Next LTM we have up on the list is Team Splashdown. Using only water balloons and their wits, two large teams fight for the victory royale in an action-packed mode where the first team to get the target number of eliminations wins. Now I'm assuming the water balloon is just like one hit and you're dead, so that's going to be a really fun mode as well. And the water balloon toy is coming to the game. That was leaked. If I could find an image of it, I could throw it up on you guys' screen here so you guys can just get an idea of what that looks like. But it's literally just a water balloon toy, so no need for a serious explanation there. Just, you know, Fortnite themed water balloon. That's it, pretty much the whole gist. Next one on the list we have is the Blues. Very straightforward LTM as well. All weapons drops are rare, storm circles move a bit more quickly, building material farming rates are increased. So it's pretty much like solid gold except for with blue weapons. So really cool LTM as well. That would include shotguns, grenade launcher would be in there. It would exclude a lot of sniper rifles except for the semi-auto, I think, which is kind of crappy. What else would be in there? There wouldn't be any scars, which is kind of interesting. There would be blue pistols all over the place. So a super exciting mode. Oh, and sorry, burst SMGs everywhere. Everyone loves that weapon, right? Anyways, moving on to our next LTM. This one is also very interesting. Use with care. Players are granted building materials at the start of the match without the ability to gain more throughout the match. Make what you are given at the start last because that's all you get. Now, there is no specifics on this one. I'm really curious as to how much they're planning on letting people start with. Like, is it gonna be like 100? Like, that's not a lot to start with. So it's gonna be really interesting to see. sorry, I just knocked my pop filter off. Anyways, it's gonna be really interesting to see how that works out. I'm probably just gonna hold it because it's gonna be a little bit difficult to put back on while I'm talking. So I'm just gonna hold it. This is gonna be a little awkward, but yeah. So that's gonna be interesting to see. Kind of like ground game again, where you have a limited amount of materials, but at least in ground game you can gain more. So our next LTM that we have on the list is heavy metal. In this mode, only the heavy weapon variants can be found in loot boxes. Get your loadout and get in the fight. Now, heavy weapon loadouts, I'm not really sure what they mean by that, because there's only one heavy item, which is the heavy sniper, and then if they were to bring back the heavy shotgun, then that would be the only two heavy weapons. So I don't know what they mean by heavy metal, unless they're talking about, you know, RPGs and stuff like that. Maybe that's the case. I'm not 100% sure where they're going with that, but we shall see that LTM in the future. Now, our next LTM, and again, we do have 18 LTMs, I was not kidding. So the next LTM, this one we actually talked about in a previous video, which is Builder's Paradise. All players built structures have drastically increased health, but a true builder doesn't break down walls, they edit through them. Neutral editing has been turned on to allow players to edit structures no matter which team placed them. And what kind of paradise would keep a builder short on supplies? Building material drop rates are increased in the following, increased to allow as much building as desired. So again, another really cool mode that they've come up with where, hey, you know, let's give people a ton of mats, all right, and let's give people the ability to edit other people's structures. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how this one works out as well. I mean, a lot of the competitive players, I feel like, are gonna enjoy this just because, you know, it's gonna be a good place to practice your edits. So next LTM we have is Purple Rain, and my thing is a little out of order, but all weapons drops are epic. Storm circles move a bit quicker. Building material farming rates are increased. So this is a pretty much, you know, solid golds, the blues, and now we have Purple Rain. So we have 3 of them. I'm surprised they didn't do like a, well, I can see where the problem could be, but like a whiteout. I can see where that could be a problem, obviously, but again, just a basic mode where, you know, it's only a strict number of weapons. That with Purple Rain actually includes a lot more weapons. You'll have the heavy sniper in there, and you'll have the Scar, and you'll have the RPG. So our next LTM on the list is going to be Storm Chasers. Surfs up, jump out of the battle bus and onto your shiny new surfboard. Use impulses grenades to bounce enemy players into the storm. Race against the storm and other surfers to be the last one standing. Now, I think when they say surfers, then I don't, you know, it could be like a summer theme thing coming up for next season. This could be a summer LTM, but I don't think that's the case. I believe this is just the driftboard. I'm 99% sure, but the way they say it in this makes it come off as if, you know, surfing, which entails like a different sort of item. So I don't think that's the case here. I think it's just going to be driftboards. Maybe it's like a reskin driftboard, so it actually looks like a surfboard. That'd be really cool, but not really sure about that. Sorry, I'm getting all messed up here. Team Rumble Siphon is coming to the game. This has been highly requested by people. I think that Team Rumble with Siphon would actually be a lot of fun, and especially since a lot of, you know, competitive players and aggressive players don't play Team Rumble a whole lot unless they're doing challenges. So having Siphon in there makes sense for casual players to just really pop off in. And I've dropped, you know, really high kills in this mode. I've dropped almost 50 in Team Rumble before. So I mean, with Siphon, you know, 50 can turn into 60 or 65, which is pretty awesome. So I'm pretty excited about that. Really excited to see that come to the game. Next LTM on the list here is Team Rumble Lava. Now this one is actually super cool. Obviously we've had the lava LTM, well, why not do it in Team Rumble? So there's going to be constant rising lava. So 2 large teams fight for the victory out in an action-packed mode where the first team to get the target number of eliminations wins. Dangerous lava rises gradually from the lowest parts of the map. Quickly loot, gather materials, and then start building up to stay away from the lava. So this is literally the lava LTM, except for with respawns and obviously with a, you know, deathmatch kind of score limit. So again, super fun to see them playing with Team Rumble a little bit more and giving a little more purpose to it. Next one up is Strategic Structures. I'm gonna have to fix this one. On my end, it's not gonna look like this when you guys see it, but on my end, it's kind of messed up right now. Think before you place is the name of the game. Stone and metal wall health has been increased, but the resource cap and resource farming rates have been reduced. So this one is pretty much like, you know, the standard Fortnite. It's like you don't get many mats, and stone walls and metal walls are the best things to build with. So I don't know. I just probably gonna, you know, keep the rates, you know, below 900, well below 900. So if this is an LTM, let's say the cap is like 300 for each material, or maybe 200, you know, something like that would be super interesting. So next LTM up is load out swap, and I believe this one is kind of similar to a gun game-esque LTM. All players get a new loadout that continues to change through the course of a match. Compete to be the last one standing and prove you are the best with a variety of weapons. So yes, it's a constant changing LTM where every single time a circle comes in, or every single time, you know, maybe a certain number of players gets killed, you will get a new loadout. So that's actually super cool. I think that it's interesting to see what kind of loadouts they're going to put together. Like, are you going to start off with maybe like a common AR and attack, or like a burst and attack, and then, you know, progressively you get nicer weapons? That'd be super cool. And then we have the tag LTM. I think we also may have talked about this one. I'm not 100% sure. Not team it. Avoid the red team at all costs. And hashtag not team it. Team it. Try to pickaxe the blue team to convert them to red team. So this actually sounds like a really fun LTM. I actually didn't read that description. Most of these I haven't read until like just now, but that sounds like a really fun LTM to have, sort of like this, you know, infected kind of thing happening. And hopefully it's in a smaller map, so that's a lot more fun. But if the other teams are able to build, then it kind of makes it a little bit more difficult, I guess. It depends. If you start off with like 10 members on the red team, and say, you know, there's 90 on the other, I don't know. Anyways, tank battle. We've talked about this LTM as well, and this one was a little interesting to me because we don't know how this is going to play out. Player health and shields drastically increase. Healing items removed and replaced with siphon. Health granted on elimination. Let the best tank win. So tank battle actually doesn't involve tanks. However, we do have, you know, an LTM that has been leaked before that included tanks, so it makes sense for them not to put tanks in the game. Like, that just doesn't fit into a battle royale, and I hope they never do that. But knowing Epic, they'll probably do it next season. So anyways, guys, that is it for all 18 LTMs. I believe we covered all 18 of them in this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, sub, share around. I will catch you guys in the next one. Tomorrow I will cover the 4 fort bits that we have missed so far. To keep you guys up to date with that, as we get closer to 90, we'll start doing them daily. So that's it, guys. That's all I have for you guys. I'll see you guys later. Peace. And I lied. I actually missed one. If you guys were keeping count, I actually only covered 17. There's actually the 18th, which this one is actually the one I liked the most out of the entire list. And this was the one that I actually did end up reading. Was this mode is played in 2 phases. During the first phase, respawn on elimination is on, and using shield items increases your max shield capacity. After a period of time, respawning will be switched off. At this point, everyone's shields will be automatically fully recharged. The remaining players will then fight to the finish. So live drops have a ton of shield pickups. So super cool mode, and super cool concept of just turning off the respawns halfway through, being able to stack your shield as much as possible, trying to make yourself as much of a tank as possible to be able to take on as many enemies as possible. So super cool mode. I don't want to keep you guys any longer. This is almost over 12 minutes, which is actually one of my longest videos. But actually, this video is a lot of fun to make, and I really enjoyed doing it. So I will catch you guys later. Peace.